might seem like I'm being dramatic because I have a lot of good days and a lot of good moments with God, but like I always come back to being right here, you know? It's like it doesn't matter what I do, I always come back to feeling like this.
All right, here we go. Hi, and welcome to this channel, this little corner of the earth. My name is Janelle, and today I want to talk about singleness from a perspective that I don't think is talked about enough in the Christian world. My grandma's baby is back there, so don't be frightened, okay? So just a little bit about me. My name is, I already said that. I am 28 years old. I'm a Christian. And I actually wrote a book on singleness called Starting with the Mind, The Sufficiency of God and Singleness, available on Amazon. But after you watch this video, you might be like, who is she to give advice on singleness? But I'll kind of go through it. So I've been single all my life, obviously. Or I've been single all my life. Maybe that's not obvious, but never been in a relationship, serious one. Never even been on a date. So that is my experience with dating. And I have had a issue or something with loneliness since probably middle school, high school, where it's like, you know, I feel worthless, I feel like, you know, uncared for, unchosen, because of singleness. So yeah, so that's what I talk about in the book. I talk about how I was in such a low and dark place, feeling so alone, like feeling like nobody wanted me, cried every single day. Every single day. I mean, sobbed. Cried my little eyes out because I didn't want to be single. But obviously I didn't realize at the time that it wasn't just that I don't want to be single. It was that I'd avoided me and God was the one who needed to feel it. And you know, grew closer to Christ, and that was resolved. But growing older, because I was like maybe 19, 20 years old when that was happening, but now growing up, I still found myself in the same cycle of like, you know, where I've tried to accept, or I've accepted that I'm single, and you know, this is just the time for me, maybe the time for me forever. But I have, sorry, this is like, I'm trying to get my thoughts together, because I thought about this last night, but like still choosing guys or pursuing guys, and then like it not working out, and then becoming devastated again by it not working out, and loving that person or liking that person, and then God is like, now you have to heal from that. But then also the devaluation that I feel in not having someone. So yeah, that it is hard to kind of go through life, even though you know that God loves you and that you are worth, you do have worth, not being chosen and loved by someone is hard. And I think that this isn't like talked about a lot or enough. Like it's kind of brushed over, like you need to be content, you need to be single, like you need to, like, you know, grow and love yourself and all that stuff, which is all great. But it's like it's not acknowledged that women, you know, women, I feel like have a harder time with it, but that people have a desire to have companionship. I was earlier this year, I was in a situation with someone that I loved. I mean, I loved this man with my whole soul. Soulmate, do anything for him, loved him. You know, still care about him, but loved him with my whole heart. And you know, in my mind, made up the fallacy that we were gonna be together, even though that totally wasn't the case. And realized that that wasn't gonna be a reality. He wasn't gonna commit to me or, you know, ever be in that place for a relationship. And so I was at church, and it was, you know, prayer time, and I was praying, and you know, prayer time was over, but I was still like, you know, down and, you know, kind of emotional and stuff. I wasn't sobbing, but my first lady came over, and she was like, is there anything you want to pray about? And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to talk to you about it. I didn't say that, but I had said like, oh, you know, relationship isn't working out and stuff. And my pastor's wife, my first lady, she's a pastor, but my first lady, she put her hand on me and she prayed and she said, God, this is your daughter who wants companionship. And then she said, she's human. When I tell you that broke something off of me in that moment, because I felt like I was so tired of like going through the same cycle with myself, because it was really me who had made the relationship into something that it wasn't. A little bit of the other person, but mostly me. And I was so tired of feeling like this. Like, I was like, God, like, I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't know why I keep fantasizing and making up lives with people, and it's not the reality. But when I tell you that she said she's human, just those two words, it was like, oh my gosh, like, yes, it's wrong for me to, you know, keep pursuing this relationship and stuff, but it's like, at the same time, I am a human who has desires. Like, I feel like when singleness is talked about, it's just kind of talked about in a, here's how to get content. Here's, you know, you just basically need to get over it. Without acknowledging the natural desire that God has placed in your heart. And I think that people, you know, they sometimes, older people, this is no offense to anybody, love everybody, and I appreciate any advice that anybody gives, but I think that sometimes people in older generations, they will tell you, oh, I know what it's like, and you know, you just gotta wait, and me and my husband, we didn't get, you know, married until, and it's like, no, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like. You maybe were single at 16 and 17, but you got married at 18. This is a different time. Like, I don't know, but people are getting married later and later in life. And it is like, you don't know what it's like when you're approaching 30 and people that you grew up with in school and in church are in serious committed relationships, they're having kids, they're getting engaged, and they are younger than you. You probably don't know what it's like. Some people may do, but it's like that, it makes you feel like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? So yeah. And then also I want to talk about something else too. This could be a part 2, but I'm just gonna make it all into one. A lot of women that I know who are single, and a lot of people that I know and know of who are single, they are the full package. They look good. They go to the gym. They have their education. They have money. They're established. And I seen on TikTok somebody said, like, you know, I got, you know, my master's degree. I'm opening up a business. I can cook if I need to. I'm pretty. And I don't know why no one snatched me up yet. And people were commenting saying, congratulations on being a man. You're doing everything that a man should be doing. And I'm like, excuse me? Women shouldn't have to devalue or belittle themselves to make a man feel good about himself. You either level up or you accept where you are and be willing to grow with a woman. So that is so irritating to me, because it's like, I didn't get a master's degree to hang it over somebody's head and make them feel bad about themselves. I got a master's degree because I liked education. I had no thought that a man would be intimidated or like feel weird by it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just another side comment where it's like, women shouldn't have to lower their standards for a man. And yeah. And I think that, you know, there's just so much information out there. Like, you know, people will tell you, just wait on it. Just wait on it. It'll come when you're least expecting it. And then other people will tell you, in the world and in the Christian field, put yourself out there. You'll never meet someone if you don't go outside. So you put yourself out there. But if you're like me and you have an anxious attachment style, you're going to get married to them in your head in 2 weeks of knowing them. So it's like, it's really hard. Because, and this is not blaming Christian people or even secular people. This is Janelle, who doesn't have a healthy way of attaching themselves yet, or whatever. But that rejection of like, this isn't the one for you. And it's like, God, I already like, but like we were talking and like, you know, they're cute and like, and then also I seen this Instagrammer that I follow. She allows people to post, like, just share, you know, what they're going through, or vulnerability, you know, get vulnerable. And somebody shared, she said, I'm still single and I'm holding on to a person who's in a relationship with someone else. And, you know, when I seen that, I wanted to tell her so bad, like, I know what you're going through. I know what it feels like. I personally would never talk to someone who's already in a serious relationship with somebody else. But it's like, the fact that she said, I'm holding on, it's like, this is all I have. Like, that's why in that relationship that I was with that person, or that situation that I was in, it's so hard to get out of it. And I know other people who are like this, or with a guy that I just started talking to. It's like, it's so defeating and discouraging when you know God is telling you to get out of it, because it's like, no, Lord, like, this is all I have. At least somebody's texting me. Like, at least messages are coming through for me, right? Like, somebody's talking to me, like, so I don't have to feel so lonely. So yeah. Yeah. This has been my struggle for like a while. And I don't I disclaimer, I know that I need therapy. There have been things that I've gone through in my life, in relationships, in friendships, in childhood, things that I've gone through that you know, I need to like kind of work through to kind of help me understand and hopefully heal through why I do the limerence. I like make a whole life and a whole plan with someone that I don't know that well, or someone who has shown that they won't commit to me. But I really don't want to hear any like, oh, you know, it'll be okay, and like, you know, just wait, and just, you know, the pity party. Like, I don't know. Because it's like, it's just a normal thing to want somebody in your life. This singer, worship artist that I really like, he was talking about his problem with lust, and he was saying like, the thing that helped me get through my addiction to lust was when God said, there's nothing wrong with you. Understanding that there's nothing wrong with you. And I've had to understand that there's nothing wrong with me. Sin is the problem. Lust and sin is the problem. But there's nothing wrong with me for wanting companionship. Like, it's not a license. It's not a license to go and sleep around and have sex with people and, you know, masturbate and all that stuff. But it's like the desire that you have, there's nothing wrong with you. So I think that when you can get free, at least from that, like, you may be doing the wrong thing. Oh, this is all I have to wipe my tears. You may be doing what's wrong, but you're not a horrible person for wanting love in your life. You know? So, yeah. Let me wipe my tears. Sorry guys, I'm just getting over a cold, so that's why it's like hard for me to talk. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share from that perspective of like, it's hard. It's hard. And you know, another art, this is just all stuff that I've heard from other people, but another speaker, preacher, her name is Brenda Palmer. I really like her. She said something that I've known. She was like, God doesn't owe you anything. God doesn't owe you marriage. God doesn't owe you a sexual experience. Like, God doesn't owe you anything. You might be a virgin for the rest of your life. And I've fully accepted that. I know I've accepted in the back of my head that I might be single for the rest of my life. but it doesn't mean that I want to be. So, of course, and we're coming to a close, okay? Of course, I know again that there is healing that needs to happen in me. And I know that the number one reason God hasn't put it in my life is because of the fact that if that person were to come into my life, that person would become the idol and they would be God, and I wouldn't have time for God anymore. Because to be honest with you, I already struggle in my relationship with God right now. Right now. I'm the type of person, I'm the type of person where it's like I give my all to whatever. I just did an event with my church. I hosted an event earlier this year with my church, and I spent all my money making the event, trying to make the event successful. Just, on my end. I took out a couple of loans to try to make the event successful. Lo and behold, to find out, didn't need to do all that. And so now working as a teacher, I give my all to my kids. I give everything that I have to my kids, in term, even financially and in the time that I put forth. And so I think that gets in the way, and other stuff, just what I'm talking about right now, singleness, gets in the way of having time to spend for God. And my mental health and gym and all this stuff gets in the way of trying to spend time with God. So I know for a fact that that's one of the biggest reasons, other than the healing that I need to do. Was like, you're not ready. You can get ready. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if this encourages anyone, but I hope that it resonates with someone, to let you know that you're not alone if you feel like I do or have any of the same struggles that I do. So I hope that you just can trust in God. That's what I'm trying to do. Build your hope in God and wait on Him. And yeah. Bye, guys.